I think we're going to stop, right?
But aren't you guys doing everything in the press?
Hey, it's here now.
You on those stuff. You guys get all, you waited all this time.
Good morning. Just very quickly, how do you justify this impeachment inquiry without holding a full House vote?
Oh, easily, because Nancy Pelosi changed the rules of the president. But let's walk through why. And let's walk through what an impeachment inquiry is, okay? An impeachment inquiry is simply empowering the House to a greater level to get the documents they need to answer a question. So what it is how do you answer a question? Now, first of all, what is the question? Well, let's walk through what we know today and why it transferred just in the last little bit. We do know that an FBI informant has alleged to the FBI, many years ago, that the vice president, that there was a bribe and that you wouldn't find the money because of shell companies. We do know now the Biden family created 20 shell companies. We do know now that $20 million went to them. We do know now what President Biden told the American public was not true, that he never talked to his son about his business dealings. We do know now, based upon the testimony by Hunter Biden's business partner, that they were selling a brand, that the vice president would get on phone calls, that Hunter Biden went on 12 trips, international trips, with then vice president. We do know that he went to meetings, and when he went to these dinners, the son got a new Porsche. He got more than $3 million moved and transferred. We do know now that when the shell companies got paid, 9 members of the family got paid. We do know now that the government, while it was investigating Hunter Biden, was treated differently, the Biden family. That they let the statute of limitations run out. And we do know from IRS workers who came forth that's not how the IRS works. So you have all these questions, and to be able to get the answers to those questions, you're going to have to subpoena certain documents. All that impeachment inquiry does is provide Congress the opportunity that if someone fights, we also learned.
But what about this DOJ?
Let me finish the answer. The other thing we learned just in the last couple of weeks, that Vice President used a pseudonym for emails. That 5,400 of those are in the archives. That President Obama gets to determine whether the House is able to look at those. We do know from seeing one of the emails that the staffer sends an email to Vice President Biden and to Hunter Biden and referring to his upcoming conversation with the president of Ukraine. At this time, Hunter Biden is on the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company that Hunter Biden was selling the brand to while he was put on, who Hunter Biden acknowledged he had no experience in energy and why he was only put on there because he was Joe Biden's son. We do know President Biden, in his own words, told the American public that he withheld $1 billion of taxpayer money to Ukraine until they fired the prosecutor. And Hunter Biden's business partner then has now informed us in the last weeks that there was a lot of pressure on them to do something about the prosecutor. We have also learned that a White House staffer to the vice president sent to Hunter Biden's business partner that the vice president has okayed the talking points for Burisma. So all of these are questions. So I ask you as reporters, as gatherers of information, wouldn't you want to know the answers to these questions?
But what about this DOJ opinion in 2020 that basically said an inquiry is invalid unless you have the House authorize?
You also have a court case that going forward with Nadler, when he went forward when they did not have a vote, when they wanted documents, and the judge said, why do you need these documents? He said, we've got an impeachment inquiry. He said, okay, you can have it. So you've got a court case there. Look.
But you told Breitbart.
But are you worried this is going to be challenged?
So what changed?
You know what's interesting to me? You were a reporter for CNN, correct?
Yes.
I just laid out to you a lot of allegations based upon the American
I'm just asking about your words. Why did you change your words?
Okay, well, let me answer your question, because I've answered it every single day, and you could answer it every single day. Nancy Pelosi changed the president of this House.
But that was
This doesn't preclude from a... Nancy Pelosi changed the president of this House on September 24th. It was withheld and good enough for every single Democrat here. It was good enough for the judge. Why would it have to be different today? What we've learned in the last couple of weeks, wouldn't you want to know the answer to? Your whole job is reporting. You now have an accusation that the president took a bribe. You do know from your own reporting, from your own station, that they were selling a brand. You do know from your own reporting from CNN that the president went to and did conference calls, that the president went to lunches and dinners, just the dinners, and Hunter got a new Porsche. He got 3
But I'm asking about the vote.
I
I'm asking about the vote on the
But
floor.
that's my question to you. Why don't you ask the other questions? Why don't you?
I do ask it, but I'm curious. I'm curious why you changed your position.
I never changed my position.
You told Breitbart 12 days ago.
You know what's
that you
interesting to
never
me?
vote.
So you don't care about any of the answers. You
not
were
true. I
very
just wanna know
interested in
what
the whole
you changed your
process.
position.
Yes, I answered your question.
Speaker McCarthy, on the timeline, how quickly are you looking for this impeachment inquiry to move? And the White House says that thousands of pages of financial records have already been turned over. So what more do Republicans need to prove and provide hard evidence of any possible wrongdoing?
You used any possible wrongdoing. If you had an FBI informant alleged someone was bribed and they used shell companies, how do you prove that? You'd have to get the documents. If you have a staffer that worked in the White House saying the president approved Burisma talking points, you have facts there. We don't have any of the credit card statements from all the credit cards from this shell companies. We don't have the president's bank statements. We don't have Hunter Biden's bank statements. Providing information like that would answer the question. All we're looking at in an impeachment inquiry is answering the question.
And then the timetable, how quickly are you looking for this impeachment inquiry to move?
I would think the White House would want to answer these questions rather quickly. If someone was accused of a bribe, if someone was accused what they said, I don't know if CNN asked the president the question, why did he tell the American public he's never talked to the Hunter Biden? When now we know that he had about the business partner. Why don't CNN ask the president when he sat down for that dinner with Hunter Biden and the oligarch's wife from Russia, did he know his son was selling the brand? Did he know the family was going to have a $3.5 million payment the next day? Did he know when he had that dinner with his son who was selling the brand that he was going to get a Porsche? Did he know when his son was sitting on the Burisma board and the staff sent an email, why did you use a different name than your normal name when you were going to talk about your work with the president of Ukraine? Would CNN ask the president when he withheld $1 billion to get rid of the prosecutor? Would CNN care about if that was using that to do something for his son, selling a brand using American tax dollars when he knows that he was getting a lot of pressure because he had the talking points? I don't know if CNN would care about that question. So to me, what we would do is as soon as we can get the info, we will.
Speaker,
Will you
can you
subpoena
tell us
Hunter Biden?